Because of that. So, all right, welcome to class now. So we have Bob here. So Bob, today we're going to talk about how to start a conversation. All right. So if you were to meet me or anyone else on the street, how would you start a normal conversation to start to get to know someone? How would you do that?
Oh, my internet is today is not very good. I not hear you clearly.
Okay. Maybe it's me. I hope it's not me. That would be very bad.
Yes.
So, how I hear you fine. You're good.
You hear me? Okay.
Yes, that's good. So how would you normally start a conversation if you see someone in the street? How would you start a conversation? What would you say first?
In my country or other country in the world.
Hey, maybe on the cruise ship. I don't know. It doesn't really matter, or does it matter?
Oh yes, okay, on the cruise ship.
Okay.
In the morning, in the day, it's very important when I see first in the morning, in my cabin, in my corridor. Yes, of course, I say hello and greetings. Did you sleep well? And how are you also? And maybe somebody going to job, somebody going to outside. Or sometimes they have problem. What's happening is something emergency. Of course, I have a lot of friends.
Yep, there's a lot of questions to ask on the boat, aren't there? Hey, Ken,
Yes.
Sorry about the confusion with the link. There is an issue.
Yes.
So Bob's just telling us how he would talk to someone on the boat in the morning because he says it's different. So, all right, you can continue, Bob. How else would you maybe talk to someone? So this is when you're a worker, right? When you're working and talking to someone who's enjoying the cruise, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. What about other ways? If you are at a bar, for example, and you want to talk to someone, how would you start a conversation?
In the bar.
Or at a game, sports game, event, I don't know, somewhere.
On the cruise ship also, we're talking a lot about the job. What's happening today or something else. I have not. Okay, this is Ken. Oh. My picture is flashing. Okay. We're talking a lot about job because time goes quickly on the cruise ship. About yes, about the next few hours or on the evening. Usually we are meeting in the crew bar. In the crew bar is a lot of crew members from the hotel department. Here is the waiters, here is the cooks, here is the musicians, and what else? Staff, crew staff from the ship. And also we are talking usually topics about what is performance today and from which countries passengers. It depends on the cruise. England, Europe, etc.
So you have to speak in English when you meet everybody. So that's really good practice.
Yes.
Okay, good. Well, let's talk to Ken and see how he might introduce himself to someone. When you first meet someone, Ken, if this is a new person, how might you start a conversation? Or would you? Or would you not?
Usually I, kind of ice-breaking talk just a little bit, and also I introduce myself, and I trying to search their interest, what they want to talk, and then if also what I want to talk with them. My hormone feel to talk, I expand that topic. I just continued that topic.
Okay, good.
So yeah.
So do you have a lot of, yeah?
Oh yeah.
Do you have any icebreakers that really work that you've tried before? Any ones that you really like?
Maybe just weather or very general topic, weather or something, and I avoid some sports, kind of win or lose or some political issues, because some people that topic is very sensitive to some people. So I don't choose such sensitive topic from the beginning, or too much expose of the private life or their private life, or I avoid such things. So maybe not a specific topic, but I'm thinking like that. Not I'm thinking about not to ask questions.
Yeah, don't ask certain questions. I mean, we've had other classes where there's different topics that you should not ask. For example, about politics, religion, things like that, very controversial issues. And then we've had a class that we can talk about, what do you talk about in a situation like this when you don't know the person? And that could be the weather, things in general. How are you doing today? Family, things like that. So good. Well, today what we're going to do is take a look at a little presentation from Intenga. And slide 1 is what I'm looking for here. One moment. Okay. So good. So this is the basics, okay, of how to start a conversation. All right. Bob, could you read this slide for me, please?
Yes, of course. From the beginning, or?
Yeah, you can start. You can read all of it.
The best and most obvious way to start a conversation is by asking a question. Let's look at some different categories for questioning. 1, personal information. What is your name? Where do you live? Are you married?
Okay, so good. So this is basic information. Now, I personally wouldn't ask if someone was married. This might depend on the person, but definitely, hey, what's your name? Because that allows you to engage in in a kind of a deeper conversation. Instead of saying, hey, you, what is your favorite sport? You can say, oh, hey, Bob, what's your favorite sport? And that will help you engage with the other person. Okay, it's a little bit more personal that way. Okay. Yeah. Also, where do you live? I mean, it could be that they live where you are physically standing or not, especially on the boat that Bob was talking about before, because everyone's from different places. So that could be something quite interesting to talk about is, oh, where do you live? Where are you? So where are you from and where do you live are two different questions. Where do you live? Where are you from? So, Bob, where do you live?
I live in Serbia now.
Okay, what city?
Novi Sad. Novi Sad is the second capital city in the Serbia, and my place is Kanti. This is small country in the big country, and name is Vojvodina.
Okay.
City have 500,000 citizens.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yes.
So, where are you from?
I'm from country Serbia.
What city?
City Novi Sad.
Oh, so you're from and you live in the same place?
Yes, I'm from same place, yes.
All right. For me, for example, I live in Spain, but I'm from Wisconsin. Okay, so I have some differences. Not everyone is going to be born and currently live in the same place. And that's the difference between these two questions is where do you live? I live in Spain. Well, where are you from? I'm from the United States. So for me, it's quite different. And when my husband and I go on holiday or vacation, people might say, oh, so where are you from? And he'll say, the town. And I'm like, but I'm not from there. I live there. It's different. So it's different for me than it is for my husband, which is funny because they are completely different questions. So, Ken, I'd like to ask you if you want to answer the same things. Where are you from and where do you live?
Yes, I live in Fukuoka, which is southwest Japan, and I was born here and I grew up here. Yeah, so same case as Bob.
Okay. Interesting. And doesn't that get boring, or do you guys love the cities you live in? That's a personal question.
I think Fukuoka is a good city to live, because the kind of scale of the city is it's 1.5 million city.
Wow.
So, but nature is close, ocean is close, easy access to the ocean, also easy access to the airport. Airport just takes 15 minutes by from city center by subway. Also, highway too. So, yeah, I like living in Fukuoka, and it was chosen maybe best 15th town in the world in British magazine last year.
Wow.
So yeah, I like this city.
Okay. See, and that's different then, because yours it's so big. I guess the city I'm from has 72,000 people. So I think if I lived there my entire life, it would be very boring. It's the same thing all the time, the same people. So, okay. All right. Well, that was a personal question of mine. So thank you very much for answering that. All right. Well, if we move on to the second one, another way we can talk about anything or start a conversation is, Ken, could you please read this for us?
Okay. Hobbies, free time. What do you like doing in your free time? What kind of films do you like? What's your favorite food, drink?
Okay.
More?
Sure. Yeah. Why don't you can read all of it, and then we'll talk about both parts.
Okay. Number 3, work life. What do you do? Do you enjoy your job? How long have you had that job?
Okay. So very good. So again, hobbies and work life. So hobbies is something that I think is a good topic. Very open. I mean, because if you ask someone a question, they're going to answer. And it's I think it's easiest to talk about yourself. So hobbies is a really good one. Any comments or questions here?
Yeah, I often ask hobbies, as icebreakers too. Yes.
Okay.
Because I think it's easy to talk for them. Also they are interested in that. So maybe I should have answered the hobby in the previous question. icebreaker.
Yeah, well, that's true. That's true. Bob, what about you? Do you think it's easy to talk about hobbies?
Oh, yes. Hobby is a great topic for the conversation. Free time also.
Okay, good. Well, I'm very glad. And what about films? I mean, Ken and I definitely don't. I don't think we don't. I think. Okay, one moment. Ken and I have very different interests when it comes to movies, I think. So, Ken, what would be kind of a favorite movie of yours?
My favorite movie. Yeah. This the other day I watched the Bohemian Rhapsody. It
Okay.
was a good film. Yeah. I don't know if it is your cup of tea, but
Probably not. I haven't seen it, and I don't plan on seeing it. So, um, yeah, I don't really. I mean, I actually have been watching a lot of documentaries, and I watched one about minimalism this past weekend.
Mhm.
So I don't know. There's one I want to watch with my husband. I don't know. There's not really. I mean, movies aren't really my forte in life. They're really not my thing. So, Bob, what about you? Do you watch a lot of movies?
Oh, yes, of course. Now I watching National Geography. uh, Country, different country in the world. It's very interesting. When I come to home, I spend my free time usually with computer and internet, and very interesting because I have not lot of time on the cruise ship to visiting Scotland, England, Isle of the Man, Ireland, etc. And when I come to home, I'm watching documentary on the YouTube. What's happening in the Dublin? What's happening in the Tobermory, Scotland, Faroe Island, etc., etc. And for me, this is very interesting because I know this place. I was in Dublin before 1 year, but we are in Dublin only 3-4 hours. And we must come to a ship and must sailing to next place.
Mhm.
Times go is very, very quickly on the cruise ship. You can't see every places. This is every 2 days a different country and different port and different city.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Well, I can agree with that. Yeah. I mean, on the ship is very different than kind of another lifestyle. So, which is good because you actually can mix your hobbies of watching movies and traveling and your work life. So that could be an interesting conversation. And I don't know if I told you, but years ago, actually, when I first met my husband, I actually had an interview for a cruise ship, but they wanted me for 6 months. It wasn't, 1 month or 2 or 3 or 4. It was 6 directly. And I thought, wow, I've only been with my husband, well, boyfriend then, for 6 months. So then I thought to go away for 6 months, that's not really what I wanted. And so I didn't go. But I was given the opportunity for a second interview, and it was something that I had always wanted to do. But it must be very difficult as well. But anyway, apart from that, so work life, what you do? Do you enjoy your job? So Ken, what would you say? I mean, you would obviously explain your work life. But do you enjoy your job? I'm actually going to ask you that question. Do you enjoy your job?
Sometimes and sometimes not.
Do you want to expand on that or not?
Because in the job we have a I have a obligation, and I cannot choose that obligation. So So sometimes
Okay.
if also maybe sometimes schedule or such pressure, yeah, kind of if the pressure is too much, I cannot enjoy that job. But yeah, but sometimes if I achieve something, and also if I can use my knowledge or skills to the job successfully, and yeah, it's enjoyable also. Even though I made a mistake, maybe I can learn from that mistake. So yeah, and yeah, is yeah, that's my answer of this question. How about you?
Okay. My job, of course, I love my job. I
Oh, nice.
live for my job. No, I really, really enjoy it. I like the fact that every day I'm teaching English, but in a different way to different people. I can really communicate and talk to a lot of different people by sitting at home. um, so yeah, for me, the negative thing is that people like classes at 8 o'clock in the morning. I don't,
Ah,
but I
I
do
see.
them because
Hmm.
people want classes. So that's probably the only negative thing
Hmm.
because I don't like to wake up early. But apart from that, yeah, I do. Bob, what about you? You to talk about your
Um,
job.
yes, of course. My job is very nice and very interesting. Every next day we have new music, new performance, new shows. Every 10, 14 days we have new passengers, new people on the ship, and always must prepare new songs for the next cruise.
Mm-hmm.
But this is not very nice like looks. Uh, Music is looking good job and very nice job. We are all usually very happy and smiling on the stage. But musician is also crew members and sailors on the ship. We have also duties like everyone on the ship.
Mm-hmm.
Um we have training, we have drills, we have information about um, daily schedules
Mm-hmm.
with officers, with passengers, and everything on the ship. Weather is not very nice every day. Sometimes is weather very rough, and this is bad days on the
Yes.
ship. And sometimes we are not playing music. Sometimes
Uh,
CD players we play records, uh, and we wait second nice day,
yeah,
better days.
of course. That makes sense.
Because yes, ship life is not usually very nice and good.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, good. Well, I'm going to move down here. All right. And we get a little test now.
Okay.
So it says, here are some answers to questions. Which question do they belong to? Okay. So I'll read the questions. It says, where do you live? What do you like doing in your free time? What do you do? Do you enjoy your job? So the answers that we'll find, well, actually, so Seattle, Washington. If this was my answer, what should be the question? What do you guys think?
Where do you live?
Sure, yeah. Where do you live? Seattle, Washington. Is Seattle, Washington on the east or west coast of the United States?
West Coast.
All right, thank you. All right, so our number 2 answer is professional golfer. So what would be my question?
What do you do?
All right, good. So when we ask, what do you do? What are we asking?
Usually occupation.
What do you do, or what are you doing? Both of these people are confused by these two questions. So what do you do and what are you doing? Okay, first I want to talk about the verb tenses. What do you do? What verb tense is that?
Present.
Present simple, more specifically, yes. So the present simple, we use the present simple with habits. So what do you do every day? We could say, well, I wake up, I work, I, eat, whatever. Okay, those are things I do every day. But when we just say, what do you do? It refers to our job, as Ken said, our occupation. Then we have the other question of, what are you doing? So what are you doing? What verb tense is that?
Present simple continuous.
Present continuous.
Continuous, yes.
There you go. And what happens? What does the continuous tense do?
Happening now.
Exactly. So what are you doing? Well, I'm speaking, I'm teaching English, I'm in class. So that's the difference between those, okay? What about number 3? The answer is it's not bad.
Do you enjoy your job?
Yes. Do you enjoy your job? Yeah, it's not bad. It's okay. All right. And then going to the cinema is the 4th answer, which the question is?
What do you like doing in your free time?
All right. Thanks, Bob. So very good. Any questions here? No?
So what do you do is always what do you do is always for asking occupation?
Yes.
Okay, I got it.
Yep.
So
if
what
not,
are you
then
doing? Yeah, okay.
We would ask it differently. I'd say, hey, what are you doing today? What are you doing? As maybe not right now, but in the present continuous as the future. What are you doing today? What are you going to do today? What are your plans? Okay.
Right.
What do you do every Sunday? Okay. So when we add that every Sunday time clause, then we're changing the context a little bit. Okay.
Yes.
But yes, when it's just this, what do you do? It's definitely talking about your job. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Whoops. Too fast. All right. So fill in the blanks here. Bob, I want you to do number 1. What could be the correct answer to this?
Yes. Where do you live?
Where do you live? Very good. Ken, what's number 2?
What kind of films do you like?
Good. Bob?
How do you do?
Okay. We have how. When you ask, how do you do, what does that mean?
How are you?
Exactly. So we can use a different question word in this case. It should be, Ken, what should this answer be?
What do you do?
Exactly. Referring to the job that you do. We say, how do you do? We're asking how you are. And that's more formal. So how are you versus how do you do? Formal and informal, basically. Okay?
When I was a kid, I learned how do you do is for the only for the first met, like nice to meet you.
Well, because it's more formal. I would say that one's definitely more formal. How are you is more informal.
So can you say how do you do in the second meet?
Yeah, you can. That's fine. It's just it's not very common in general because it's pretty formal.
Yeah, a bit old. Sounds very old now.
Yes, Yes, it does. That's correct. So anything else?
Oh, no, thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right. So let's see. So Bob did 3. 4 is for Ken.
Okay. Are you married?
Okay, that's fine. Ken, number 5.
I have a question.
Oh.
Why this is passive? Are you married by who? By whom?
Are you married? Where's
For
by?
example, I was born on by my parents. That's why I heard. That's why the sentence is passive. But this case also, are you married? Sounds like passive. So why this is passive?
Positive?
Passive. I said passive.
It's not. It's not a passive. Because the verb is to be married. So this is a to be plus an adjective.
Okay.
So to marry is the verb, and then married represents an adjective.
Yeah, I got it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Good?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, that's fine. So are you married? Bob, number 5.
What's your favorite food or drink?
That's perfect. What is your favorite food and drink?
Italian food and seafood.
All right. Okay. Well, that's good. And let's see. Your drink?
My drink, juice, orange, also Coca-Cola. But in recent time, I don't drink too much Coca-Cola. Sometimes beer, alcohol never.
So non-alcoholic beer is what you drink.
Little alcohol, little.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Ken, what about you? What's your favorite food and drink?
Yeah, I like Italian food and fish and meat. I'm not a fussy eater, so I like maybe many types of food. Also drinking, I don't drink alcohol nowadays. Also, my body is not so is not, how can I say, it's not strong for alcohol. So yeah, and my favorite drink, kind of 100% kind of fruits or vegetable juice, or liquid yogurt. I love it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, very good. Well, I guess I'll ask myself the same question. My favorite food is I don't know. I love vegetables in general. And my favorite drink is beer. I mostly drink water, but beer is my favorite.
I agree with you, Becky. Yes, of course.
And during the week, it's non-alcoholic beer. And then on the weekends, it's alcoholic beer.
Yes.
Which Thomas doesn't know why I drink non-alcoholic beer, but I do it for the taste. I just love it. So
yes, especially German beer.
You know, German, Belgian, American, Spanish, whatever. I really like IPA beers. Indian Pale Ales are my favorite. So that depends where it's from, basically. But, so yeah. Beer, go beer. All right, so good. So
yes.
Let's see. Bob did that. So 6 is for Ken.
Mm-hmm. Do you enjoy your job?
Good. Do you enjoy your job? That's fine. Number 7 for Bob, please.
What is your name?
Very good. And the last one for Ken.
How long have you had your job?
All right, very good. Or how long have you worked at your job or current position? Something like that. Okay. All right, so very good here. Whoa. All right, so working on intonation. All right, as far as these questions. Okay. So sometimes your voice will go up and sometimes it will go down. Okay. So a WH question or a question word question, a falling intonation is very common. In other questions, the intonation might go up for the questions. Okay. So Ken, what do you know about intonation and questions?
Usually, I think it's English too. Usually, in the intonation laws, if it is a correction.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's same as Japanese and French too.
French. Do you speak French?
No, I just took a lot of French classes for almost like a mandatory. So I don't speak French actually.
Okay, that's a little different then. Okay. Perfect. Well, that's fine. Yeah, so intonation is important. Honestly, I don't really pay attention to if my intonation goes up or down in questions. I know both happen, but I couldn't specify exactly. So what are you doing this weekend? My intonation went up and then it came down. What? That was just up. Okay, the intonation.
I think in a kind of speaking level, it is happening in English too. Actually, in Japanese and French, just rose the intonation means correction, even though we don't no change of the structure of the sentence. But in English case, clearly difference. Maybe be verb should be the first or such things. So it's maybe sometimes people can notice whether if it is a correction or not by the structure of English. But in a speaking level, people sometimes ask, do you enjoy? No, enjoy. You like it? You like it? Maybe I have to say, do you like it? But sometimes it happens.
Exactly. And all the intonation really is doing is emphasizing. Okay. So when you say, do you enjoy it? Do you enjoy it? That's when you would emphasize the enjoy. Do you like working on cars? Then cars might go up at the end to emphasize the word cars. So excuse me, to me it's quite natural, obviously, just to use intonation, but we play with the words in English a lot. So if someone's speaking and you don't really understand, because we play with the words and the intonation. And I know one of the things people would do here in Spain is they would laugh at me because I would say, no, don't, no, and I would elongate that O for no. And here in Spain, they just say no. They don't elongate anything. They don't play with the intonation. So that was one of the things I brought into my Spanish language, but from English. So some people think I sound silly. That's okay. It helps me express myself and who I am. So do either of you have any experiences with intonation or anything you want to share before we continue?
Yes, because Japanese kind of a sound is less than English or French or from many languages. So we have homophones a lot, homophones a lot. So sometimes intonation, for example, ame and ame is maybe different. One meaning of rain and one meaning of this ame is candy. So intonation is important, but these areas of Japanese don't care about that. actually. So, but people can understand whether it is candy or rain by context.
Of
actually.
course. Well, the
Yeah.
same thing happens in English as well. So,
Mhm.
okay. Good. Bob, any experience or anything to say about intonation?
Yes, of course. Yes, of course. But how to explain this? Yes, of course. On the ship, we have crew members from different countries. Really, a lot of countries in the world. Interest in India, and everybody on the ship speak English for different different way, and really we have a lot of intonation. I remember one officer from India who speak about a healthy life on the ship, like a sanitary training. Yes. And for a few minutes, I really not understand what he's speaking, because he have absolutely different intonation. And after 10 minutes explanation on the officer, he asked group, do you understand my English? And we said not quietly.
Yeah,
Really?
that sometimes can be pretty difficult. So
Yes, because he speak English a little fast, but
Mhm.
his intonation is not usually is not like school English,
Yeah.
because he was a little older than me, about 55 years, and yes, intonation is really important in the English language,
Mhm.
because I always try to be official English, like CNN, like the news, like the television English,
Right.
professional English, like this intonation, not like the street or I know English is very huge language, and in same country you really not understand uh, what people speaking. Example in the what is island? One small island in England, in the South England for the Europe, Saint Mary's or something else. I remember driver. I in the one group from the passengers for the shore excursion, and driver is also a tourist guide. He drive a bus and speak with passengers. Hello everybody, I'm tourist guide. This is coast, blah blah. And what's happening? Other some people not understand what about his speaking. Especially I'm sitting next to the driver, and many words I not understand. This is very special experience about intonation.
It definitely makes you listen a lot more.
Yes, and we make the break in the this excursion. Also, we going out to make the picture, and I speak with the driver alone, and he asked me, "Oh, hello, Bob. Where are you from? Serbia?" Yes, of course. This is this is old English. Yes.
Well, it does. I mean, intonation also helps you break up the words, because if you speak monotone, which is that you only have one tone, it's extremely difficult to understand. So, and that's the other problem. So it's really, I mean, you really need to focus on excuse me, the different words and things like that as well.
I have some special, very special story about intonation in English. In one cruise in the Greece, we have tourist guide from the Greece, and she is really special intonation. Really very special. She speaks English like Greek language. And what's happening? This is excursion in the morning, in the 8 o'clock, because excursion is very long, 6-7 hours, from all the Greece, all island, etc. And one old lady. Old lady, about 75 years old, is she, and suddenly she asked me, Bob, I must ask you something. What's happening? She said, please tell the tourist guide to stop. To stop the speaking. I can't listen this Greek English. It's very interesting, and I going to the tour guide and tell tour guide, please speak some professional, not speak only one intonation. This is sound like Greek language. They must listen officially English language.
It is difficult. It is.
It's very special story about, but interesting. Tourist guide is very kind, very polite, and he tried to speak English, speak and explain what's happening on the right side, what's happening on the left side, and blah blah about history. But intonation is really,
it's important, and Ken asks a lot of time about pronunciation as well, because I mean, I know some tourist guides here that just everything, and it's really hard to understand.
It happened to some Japanese people. They believe, if they speak in English in Japanese pronunciation way, it can be understood by natives, other people, but foreigners who are living in Japan could be understandable, but I don't think so. If I speak English in completely Japanese accent, maybe it's very difficult to understand.
Yes, it can be the same. It's the same as if I were to speak with my full American accent in Spanish. So yes, I can understand. Well, don't worry. We'll talk about intonation a whole other day. All right. But for now, we'll see you on Wednesday. All right. Have a great day, everybody.
You too.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye. Goodbye.
Bye.